He's a real estate agent. It's his job to stay in town. That's your job.
Let's just say you're a one-man show.
Okay. I am, in fact.
You're one. Wouldn't knowing which houses are on the parade route matter?
Yeah.
When you're selling a house on the parade route?
Hi, y'all. Welcome to Hustle Humbly. It's Alyssa and Katie, and we are two top producing realtors in the Baton Rouge market.
We work for two different companies where we should be competitors, but we have chosen community over competition.
The goal of our podcast is to encourage you to find your own way in business.
So stop comparing yourself and start embracing your strengths. Hi, YouTube.
Hey, guys.
Welcome. It's another episode of the Hustle Humbly podcast.
We are here.
We're here with our dirty hair for the second time.
So dirty.
So bad. Okay. Hi, Alyssa.
Hey, Katie.
It's episode 137.
Ooh.
I know, right? Let's talk local.
I like talking local.
I think it's highly important. Quickly before we, I feel like I'm going to be having this void in my life now that the flip report is over.
I know.
There's no more busting in. There'll be no beep-a-deeps.
No beep-a-deep.
Nothing.
So sad.
I know. It feels like, oh, the dog just rang the bell.
The dog just rang the bell.
Hold on. The dog just. Great.
He's like, you miss it?
You talk to them about your feelings.
You miss it? Oh my gosh.
He's like, what? Ring the bell.
Poor pup.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm just doodling. You're leaving him outside?
Yeah, I just cracked the door. He'll come back. Okay. We'll see how bad this one is. Okay, so goodbye the flip report.
I know. It's so sad.
It's all right. But now they've got a whole episode of it to hear it all in one place.
Yeah, that's good.
We don't have to break in anymore.
I would love to find another one, but we'll just have to see.
We'll have to see. Okay, moving on. Let's talk local.
Okay.
I sent an email way back in September with this topic. And I was heated. I have so many thoughts about why it is important to focus on local.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not just because you should support your community, because you work in your community.
Correct. We are like the leaders in our community.
If you spend any amount of time on social media, you may notice there's a trend in the industry where teams are being built like across state lines.
Yes.
Across all borders.
Yes.
You can build a team. And I think actually they're developing this functionality at KW now where like you can build a team.
Yeah.
It's sort of.
Mm-hmm. I have seen that.
Okay. The point is there are more than one companies where you can build your team outside of your local area.
Okay.
Fine. I'm not going to even get into it.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you why I think it's important to also focus on your area.
Correct.
Well,
I think if you expand outside of your area, it needs to be because you have someone there that is local.
Right. Okay. That's a great point.
The area expert there is running that division of your team.
There are some things that we're going to talk about in this episode. What does it mean to be local? Why do you care? Like what are the nuances of being in a local market? And there are some people that you need to lean on, like your broker and maybe your mentor and maybe someone who's training you that need to have knowledge of your actual market.
Yes.
Not a market an hour away, not a market in another state. There are some basic fundamentals of real estate that I think, just like the podcast, could be applied to anyone's career, right?
Yes.
Like, here are some ways to do these things that could work for anyone. Sure. That's great if you can find a team that can teach you all of that.
Mm-hmm.
There is also a need within your business for you to be hyper-local focused because you're only selling real estate in the one place.
It makes me think of that movie that we were just talking about.
Shut up.
He's just not that into you.
He's just not that into you.
And she's trying to figure out why the guy isn't calling her back. And she's like, well, maybe his grandma died, or maybe he's out of town for work. And he goes, he's a real estate agent. It's his job to stay in town. That's your job.
Stay in town.
Stay
All
in
you have
town.
to do is you can't work out of town.
Right. It is
Like,
your job
I think that
to
I'm
really know your town and
so
your
glad
city.
You're making me laugh about this because I get kind of infuriated because it's your job to know your town and to be in your town and to sell real estate in your town. Like that is the basis of the job.
Well, when I was making all my notes, I was almost thinking this is like another database episode. It's
Right.
not. It's not a database
not.
episode, but these are all things that when you need more business, when you are trying to grow your business, trying to build your database, all of the things that we're going to talk about today are really fun things to do.
Yeah.
That only grow your business and give you a reputation for being a leader in your community.
Yep.
Someone that can be trusted. It only can lead to referrals.
Yeah. Agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So where do you want to start? Do you have a list of things?
I don't know. I'm just like looking at this email and just like, okay, I'm going to try and be relaxed.
Because you were frustrated because of people trying to be experts where they aren't.
I'm not afraid to be transparent about the fact that recruiting can sometimes rub me the wrong way.
Sure.
I just don't like that side of the business.
Mhm.
It's not, and look, if you recruit and that's your business plan, it is your business to do your business.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make me feel comfortable. And I mostly because,
But what does that have to do with local?
because I feel like the recruiting is happening more and more as agents are able to recruit across outside
State
of their
line.
market.
I see. Yeah.
I feel like now I see it so much more than I saw it before. Like, yes,
Mhm.
from the moment I got my license in 2005, people have tried to recruit me to be on their team or at their brokerage locally.
Sure.
Now you could be recruited literally from anyone, anywhere.
Yeah.
Because they're able to, the way
the cloud.
the cloud can recruit you.
Yeah.
Because the way the company is structured, they're able to do that.
But focusing locally is way more fun than.
Well, right. And a lot of times, if you want to partner with teams in other market, like a person or an agent in another market, you can refer business and make money that way.
Yeah.
Like you can say, hey, agent in Houston, Texas, I'm going to send you a buyer that I have and you're going to pay me 25%. Okay,
Sure.
great. Sure. Wonderful. Fine. Like you can partner with agents without having to be tied into them through the same company or the same team.
Yes.
I guess I get confused because I'm like, there is a way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is exactly like?
Tell me, because I'm trying to follow.
I know you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know BNIs?
Yes.
BNI groups. People, have you ever been in a BNI?
I went as a guest to one. Wasn't my jam.
I've never been in one. I think I got invited one time and I just didn't. Yeah, it's not my jam. And I had to laugh because a lot of people in BNIs like really swear by the BNI. They're like, it works great. You know, the point, this is a business networking. What is it? What is the I?
Oh, man.
Business networking. I don't know. Anyway, the point is you are supposed to be referring to the people in your BNI group
Right.
business. So if it's a dentist or a restaurant or it's an insurance person or realtor, you each refer to each other and that's supposed to be the basis of it. I always laugh because at some point it hit me like a light bulb. I'm like, I don't really need to join a BNI because my database is my BNI.
They're your people.
They're the people. I already have my own
That's where you
people.
get your business.
I don't want to be in a group that I don't know you and I'm like, I want to vet them and then they're in my BNI. That's just life.
Mm-hmm.
In your own life, you have a set of people locally
Yes.
who are your people. I don't know where I'm going with that. Move on. The point is, I think you need to have a local support system
Mm-hmm.
and a local, mentor and a local agent friend that can help you during your team member in Timbuktu can't help you when you go on vacation in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Right.
Okay.
Having a support system.
Someone
here.
has to help you locally because that's where your business is.
Okay.
Okay. What do you got in your?
I have notes.
I'm going to try to collect my thoughts.
in another direction.
Please tell them to me because I'm off. I'm off.
I have notes on all the ways to focus on being local.
Great. Let's hear it.
Okay. There are several things that you could do. Some I think are great ideas and some I think you have to be careful on.
Okay.
For example, like in your neighborhood, you
Mhm.
want to be known as the neighborhood realtor.
Mhm.
And people need to know that that's what you do.
Yes.
So some of the things that you could do would be like serve on the homeowners association.
Oh, yeah, I do that.
That's a great thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have also seen where that has gone wrong because HOAs have drama sometimes. And then you're involved in the drama. And then they're mad at you because the fountain is broken. But I think if you find the right spot on the HOA, like maybe you're like, hey, I would love to be part of the entertainment committee and plan the hot dog get together around the pond. Something that just allows you to be involved in your neighborhood. But people need to know that you are a realtor that lives in the neighborhood. So when you lived in Maplewood, you did a great job of this.
I think I did pretty good. Yeah.
Like people knew you were the Maplewood agent.
I would be pretty intentional about also inviting the neighbors to an open house.
How did you do that?
Through the Facebook group.
Oh, so yeah, because you're in the group.
Well,
because you're in a neighbor.
Only people allowed to be in the group
yeah,
are actual
that's
neighbors.
A good idea.
So I would be like, hey, because that's very no pressure. I'm going to be at X house at this time. I have mimosas. Come over.
Mm-hmm.
People came over.
Yeah.
They knew me. And even when I was outside of the neighborhood, then I would try and get someone who I knew in the neighborhood to share it in the group. Do you know what I mean? Like they kick you out when you move out. But I would send postcards to the neighborhood. They knew like what was going on. But you could also, like I had a series of people's phone numbers. I would just text them. Hey, I'm going to be doing an open house. Come on over. Tell your friends. Bring your neighbors.
And even like speaking of being in the social media group, there are so many online forums for your city.
Yeah.
So, for example, I actually just saw on Instagram that the Ascension Chamber of Commerce has an Instagram and it was sponsored. They did a paid ad because it said sponsored. So I saw that, but it was promoting something really neat. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So then I went and looked at their page. It was kind of new, but it was very good. So I started following them.
Okay.
But you can also, people volunteer at their chamber.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for ways to get involved or if there's something that you're specifically wanting to address in your city, then this would be a great place to go.
Yeah, I think being local boils down into all of your materials. If you're going to do a buyer or seller folder, you're going to offer a client a coupon, you're going to have a vendor list. All of those people are local, or hopefully they are. You know, here's the plumber and the electrician, or here's a coupon to a local mover, or, you know, here's where you can get these services. All of that is, and the more small businesses you can support in your community and the more active you are in your community, like you've done the sponsor the baseball team or the Little League team or whatever, then the more visible you are being a member of your community and people see you and realize, oh, I see you out there in the world.
Yeah. And on that same note, anytime I have a buyer that is trying to get pre-approved through like an online company or an intern or a national company because the rate seems so low on the internet. I'm like, listen,
on the internet,
listen, we need someone local.
Right.
When we are in a multiple offer situation, we need the seller to know that we have a local lender who has an office here that we can go talk to if there's a problem.
We have vetted.
Yes.
The problem, it's not like a big bank can't do a loan. They can, but we don't know if they're going to be easy to reach, or like how are they going to handle the transaction? How quickly do they do all the parts of the process? You can vet a local lender. Just because they are local doesn't make them good, though.
Correct.
Just the point of having a local lender is that not only are you supporting a local business, you're also able to vet them and have an experience with them. And your client can have literally a face-to-face experience. Like, I would like to be able to go and say, hey, here are my documents. Can you walk me through this? Or here's your office. I can drop things off. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I had some other notes about local things that you need to be aware of. So I think that locally, it's important to know where you work geographically.
Okay.
So I think it's good to have a niche. I think you can make your niche smaller. It could start off like we both had a bigger one and now it's getting smaller. You can adjust that over your career. You can focus on areas that you want to work in. And we're going to do geo farming in a couple of episodes. But I think that just having a geographical area and knowing what it is, we're licensed in the whole state.
Yeah.
I would never go to Alexandria and try to sell a house.
Oh, that would be
First
scary.
of all, it'd be a long drive.
Yes.
And second of all, I wouldn't have a clue what happens in their market, what's traditional, what's like, I just wouldn't even know. Is this a good house? No clue. No clue. I think that sometimes we get a little worried, like a scarcity mindset. And we're like, oh, well, I have a client that wants to look at a house an hour and a half away. Well, I could go. I mean, I can do that. I can make it work. And then, you're really doing your clients a disservice if you're not familiar with that local market.
Right.
So you need to keep it local and then refer out. It's okay to refer it out and have a network of people who could take that business and serve it better than you would. That's serving your client or your database or whoever came to you.
Keeping your client's best interest in mind.
Yeah, for sure.
And actually, appraisers, they could be fined or put on probation if they accept an appraisal in an area they aren't familiar with.
That's interesting.
It's required that if it is in an area that they don't know, they cannot accept the appraisal.
Is it like a distance wise, or how do they know?
I'm not really sure
very interesting.
I'm not sure how they audit that.
Right.
But whenever you take any kind of appraiser CE,
yeah,
it's in there a lot.
Can you even think about how crazy and nuanced just one neighborhood to the next is here? Even within your geographical area, you have to have knowledge neighborhood to neighborhood.
Yes.
It changes.
And that's why I think touring houses and subdivisions is so important, touring new listings, because you really don't know a neighborhood until you've driven through it, opened a door, and been there.
Yeah. I have a list of things that fall into that.
Okay.
So things that you would look for as a agent in that area. Well, maybe you just get used to what buyers in certain areas tend to look for or expect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, buyers in the condo market expect this, or buyers in this, high-end neighborhood typically expect this. That helps when you have a seller, like this is what they think. But also, what to tell the client to look for. If you're representing a buyer and they're looking in an area and you ask them where they work and you know about the traffic, you're like, well, okay, the traffic patterns are going to be like this way in the afternoon, this way in the morning. Well, if you live here and you're going there, you'll be fine. Or if the other way around, you might be in some serious traffic.
Yeah.
You should be more aware of like the amenities to an area. So, well, the public park is here and the library is there. And the restaurants are over here, or you're pretty far from a grocery store. I just want to make you aware. Or the pharmacy is going to take you 30 minutes to get to. Like, I think you being aware of what's in that area is going to help your client who's only going to look at the house and isn't thinking about all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking about the traffic and the grocery store sometimes, or where the things they need are.
And what's upcoming. What's being renovated.
Development is huge.
And I think it's good to find like that one newsletter. I don't want your email full of newsletters, but there's a one or two that I have that help keep me up to date on
what's happening.
What's going in that old building that just got shut down, who's going to buy it, what's it going to turn into. When clients say, well, what is my subdivision back up to? What is that commercial property?
Right.
What is this going to be? You really need to be the expert, or at least be local enough to know, hey, I actually am really great friends with a commercial agent. I'll call and see what I can find out.
Mm-hmm.
But we have I think the 225 business report even does a daily email of restaurants, real estate. I mean, you really stay up to date with what's going on in your market. So don't get so focused on residential. Like, you also have to know what is going on in that retail center.
Or the school system.
Yes.
Or like flood zone reclassifications. Like, what are the things that are happening in your area that impact housing in general, where you might want to live? Well, are we getting a new school?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this area, the schools just got ranked very high? Or like, you don't have to be the be all end all of information for your clients, but you should at least be in the know.
Yes.
Like, you should be constantly educating yourself about what's locally going on. Flood zones, I think, are a great one.
Yeah. They're always changing. School zones are always changing.
Always changing. And those are things that are important here. Like, flood zones are not important to every one of our listeners.
No.
But we did have some listeners ask about some things that I was like, what? Like water rights.
Oh,
I know.
I've never even heard of that, really.
Right. So apparently that's in certain markets, there's a situation with the water rights. Then like things like radon inspections.
Oh, yeah.
You don't do that.
We don't do that here.
Okay. Metro districts. This was very interesting, but I think that was in Colorado. Like they were creating these certain parameters for development in these metro districts.
Mm-hmm.
So there are all these different things that might be happening in your community that you should probably be aware of.
Yes.
Or parts of the transaction in your area that you need to be aware of for inspections. Like you need to I got to tell my buyers, you probably need flood insurance.
Yes.
Whether you're in the zone that is required to have it or not. And this is why.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, there was a big old giant flood. And then back in 1983, there was a big old flood. Like, I know. Like, I literally know when the floods were. Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Katie.
What do we mention almost every episode?
Email templates.
You're right. We sure do. And after every time we mention an email template, do you know what we get?
Emails asking if they can have copies of the email template.
Can you send me a copy of that template? I have never had one like that. That sounds great. And you know what the good news is?
What?
You can get all of our email templates from our course, Email Templates 101. Tell the people about it.
Our course has all of the email templates you would need to send to your buyers and your sellers and your clients that are buying and selling at the same time.
Exactly.
To get through every step of the transaction and giving them information that they need for where they are in the transaction.
It's great because you never forget to tell them something.
Yes, and we've already done all the work for you.
Yeah.
We wrote them and you can personalize them.
Yes.
And just feel organized knowing that you have all the information where it needs to be.
And if you purchase Email Templates 101, you do get lifetime access. So occasionally we like to go in and make updates based on the market, or if we find a new best practice, and we put that right into the template and you get that updated straight away.
It just goes straight to your course.
Yep. Right.
It's
It's just there.
amazing.
It's already in there.
It's just
already
there.
in there. You don't even have to worry about it. We'll
That's
send you
wonderful.
an email and we'll say updated.
That's great. Where can they find these email templates?
You can find the email templates at emailtemplates101.com.
Emailtemplates101.com.
Yes, head over for reviews and all of the specifics.
Wonderful.
Okay, enjoy.
Well, even an hour away from us in New Orleans, the inspectors do things very differently.
Yeah.
Like they have pipe inspections almost every home inspection.
Right, because the houses are much older.
Yes, and their soil is different and they had clay pipes at that time. And,
Right.
But that's not what it is here.
No.
And I would hate to sell a house in New Orleans as a newer agent that didn't know that was something. But who knows what else I don't know?
That is exactly what
I
I
don't
put in
know
my
what
notes.
I don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
It is incredibly negligent to just go off into a market where you have no knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't mean you couldn't move or go to a new market or add a market. You have to learn
But then you're
first.
training. Yes,
Yeah, you have
need
to
to
learn
be trained
first.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's so huge to find those agents and spend time with agents in your market so that you know, well, what's trending right now? What's happening? What are the challenges you're seeing in reference to this? Because those things change.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the flood insurance thing just changed greatly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that having so let's just say you're a one-man show.
Okay.
You're
I am, in fact.
You're okay, but like in your brokerage, it is just you,
okay.
Alyssa
Okay.
Jenkins, broker owner.
Alyssa Jenkins, realtor. Okay,
Right,
realty.
Alyssa Jenkins, broker owner.
Okay.
My advice to you, Alyssa Jenkins, broker owner, is you're still going to want to build some type of community or mastermind or panel
Mm-hmm.
or support system of other agents in your market, right?
Yeah.
Because we learn so much from each other, but through our day-to-day experience. Not we just learn so much from each other because we're all agents. No, like in your local market, talking to other agents to be like, oh, wait, what happened at that complex?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, how's that going in that neighborhood? Oh, you had a challenge with what in flood insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, an entire parish was getting letters about having to raise their homes from flooding, right?
Right.
Like if you're not talking to other agents in your area and keeping that communication open and learning from others' experiences, then you only know the handful of things that you've done,
Mhm.
right? Like even if you sell 100 houses a year, but you talk to 10 other agents who sold 20 more house. Like, you hear all the experiences.
Yes.
Like, what is going on
I know.
locally? You cannot actually be just a one-man show.
No, you need the camaraderie and the community around you.
Yeah.
That's where you're hearing
And that's
up
where
to date.
you learn, right?
Yes.
That's where you're learning the information.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got?
I know we had talked about the agent in my office that did the videos of the different parks with her kids, and she made a tab on her real estate website, and it was said parks, and then it was a drop down of all the different local parks, and you could click on them and see videos of what the equipment is like there and where it is and what the amenities of it are.
Love it.
It's so fun.
So fun.
But I also follow a lot of our local places on social media, and I have really enjoyed it. So, for example, like I follow Breck.
The park system.
Yes. And so they're doing like a free Mardi Gras 5K with a jazz band at the end. And they were like, bring the kids out. We're doing a nature hike on Saturday.
I got one email from them that said they were stocking the pond and this kind of fish would be there starting on this day.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh, you don't say.
That's neat.
Yeah.
There's just so much great information out there that's free. And if you're scrolling social media anyway, you might as well be following some places that benefit you.
Right. And then you can reshare that to benefit your people, your sphere, your database, your followers are then benefiting from you telling them, well, this is what's happening locally. We have an agent in our office that does the weekend events every week.
Oh, yeah. Those are good. I follow her.
Great. So we always know, and she's just hyper local. The more invested you are in your community and the more knowledgeable you are, the more people are going to come to you as the expert.
Yes.
Hey, you know what the events are. I mean, like, wouldn't knowing which houses are on the parade route matter?
Yeah.
When you're selling a house on the parade route, like the pricing would even change.
Yeah.
Like the way you market it would change. Like,
so we're entering Mardi Gras season here in Louisiana.
Right.
Well, I guess we're exiting it now on this air date.
I'm sorry.
It's over?
You're long gone. But, and actually, as the airing of this has happened, we probably just have had my very favorite local parade, which is St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah. I love St. Patrick's Day.
Because that's when we're coming out here on the 21st of March. So...
But there are houses that are on parade routes.
Yeah.
And you put that in the MLS description if it is. It is very important and sought after to say, this house is on the parade route. People are like, what? They flock to it.
Yes.
Welcome to Louisiana.
Welcome to Louisiana. But there might be something like that in your market.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what is it about your area that's like, this is the best street to live on because of this? And maybe it's something that people there, but definitely people from out of state would have no clue. Like, what is the lifestyle?
Yes.
What is the local lifestyle? How do you share the local lifestyle with your people? How do you help buyers see the benefits or maybe the detriments of certain parts of the area? I think that it's fun to share that too.
Even in our marketing stuff, a lot of people do mail out football schedules.
Yep.
Well, in our market, you can mail out parade schedules.
Right.
So it can tell you where the parades are, what times they start, and if it's kid friendly and things like that. So there's so many ways you can take it.
That. Okay. Yeah. So my old buyer's agent, Rebecca, is very fashionable. She loves to shop at the boutiques. She's always dressed very cute. Her friends are always asking her where she got stuff. She is an amazing realtor. She started doing like her outfit of the day. She would tag local boutiques.
Oh, that's cute.
She would be like, this is my closing outfit, or this is like my showing outfit. Or it was it fit her personality. It celebrated local. It was something that then she got to kind of pair passions. So she was following the boutique anyway.
Yeah.
Just sharing it. But that's my point. Like, you can pick all these wonderful ways to expand your niche outside of just, I work this zip code.
Yeah.
And I sell this type of house to this type of buyer. Well, maybe you're also a bit of a fashionista who wants to tell us what their outfit of the day was. And then those people are going to flock to you.
Yes. Then you get the fashionistas.
How fun is that, though?
It is so fun.
So fun, because I'm not going to do an outfit of the day. but I might do a chocolate chip cookie of the day.
Right. Where's it from?
Where's the best sweet tea around here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the things that you like? How do you bring that into your celebration of local? I think that's just so fun.
It is fun.
What else do you have about local?
Whenever you were talking about, especially if you're like an owner broker of one and needing community.
One of one.
So I served at our local board of realtors
Uh-huh.
and I served on community funding, which is just like an account that we have that gives to local charities in our market. But our committee was in charge of interviewing the charities that applied.
Oh, that's fun.
And deciding who got the money and how much. And we chose by who was based on our mission statement as realtors.
Okay.
So we support housing, we support education. So that's how we chose. But then also actually going out as a committee and volunteering for like Habitat for Humanity. Like we are realtors. So supporting a housing project
makes sense.
And so really making sure that finding things that you're passionate about and then also finding things that just point back to the fact that, oh yeah, and I'm a realtor and I'm really into home ownership.
Oh, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
this makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's funny how you can make anything make sense if it's part of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I like, and volunteering within your board is another thing that's impactful locally. Like it's going to help your local market.
Yeah. And then I meet agents from all different companies and we become friends. And then you know who the leaders are in your industry.
Right.
It really makes it easier to just work together.
Doesn't it make it easier?
It does.
So great.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Do you have any other like thoughts about local? What you like about your being local? What's important? I just think it's so funny how much nuance there is to like neighborhood to neighborhood, zip code to zip code. Like we have a zip code. I don't know, that people would refer to as the hip zip.
Yes, that's where everyone wanted it to be.
And I
hip
just
zip.
In the hip zip. And I always laughed when buyers were looking there. I'm like, oh, you're looking in the hip zip. And they were like, what? I'm like,
yeah, that's where everybody wants to be.
You better know what that's about because that's the hip zip. Oh, God.
It's raining.
It really was.
hard.
Holy smokes.
Wow, that was loud.
That was very loud. I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that building a support system, a team, a group of professionals that help you and you can learn from, like, I think going to a class taught by a local agent is helpful, or a local, especially a local title attorney.
Yeah.
Like what are the challenges and the things that we're learning about in our own area? And those things are most important to your buyers and sellers.
Yes.
Like they love that you have a system for the way you run your business, but they are going to really love if you're able to help them with information they need for their life.
They understand the challenges too of like where you're coming from.
Right. I think I've told this story before. I got a buyer off of a sign call on my listing once because he was talking about how he needed to move into the area because he wanted his kids to get on the bus route. And I said, oh, they went to XYZ school. And he was like, you know it? And I'm like, yeah, I live right around the corner. And he was like, oh, like that's why he worked with me.
Yes.
Because I knew what school he was talking about, even though he didn't say the school. So it works.
Yeah, it does work.
Working local works because I only sell houses here.
Maybe even in some of your email templates, including links to the public schools to say, hey, like here's how you check what school zone. Because I know school zones are changing a good bit also. So always putting the burden back on the buyer.
And we're not like in our MLS, we're not allowed to put that in the listing.
We have to leave it up to them. But providing them information on how to check these things and being their resource of information. Like you said, you don't have to know it all.
What does Terry Watson
have to know where to
don't be the source. Be the source of the source.
Yes.
Be the source of the source. Oh, here, this is where you need to go.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
I love
That's so helpful.
We have that. Our local in our area, we have the 225 magazine.
Okay.
We also have Business Report and Register, but 225 is sort of like the lifestyle-y, what's going on in the city. And I think it came out in I was early in 2005-ish. I mean, it was about when I started real estate that magazine started coming out. When I had clients coming from out of town, I'd always try to go grab a free copy of that. They're at the restaurants or whatever.
That's a good idea.
And bring it to the showing. Be like,
hey, look,
Here
I
you
got this for
go.
you. Just that's a great idea.
Or every year they would do the best of. And I would
Mm.
try to grab a handful of those. And that way, if I had people coming from out of state whenever they came, I'd be like, here you go. It's best of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just be the source of the source.
Yeah, I like that.
And if you love where you live, someone else is going to feel that from you. So if you love your neighborhood, like it's way easy for me to sell houses in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I love it here. Let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
I live here. There's a reason.
Yes.
It's pretty easy for me to vocalize that.
Someone said, I always like to know, where do the realtors live?
That's a great question. But that also it points to maybe if you live in an area, that's the best place for you to service.
Yes.
I don't know that you want to live in one place and serve
No.
somewhere 30 minutes away because, right,
That's
you have
hard.
to be in it.
Yeah.
You have to be in the
In the
vibe.
know.
Right. So funny. I love that. I love so much about where we're from.
I do too.
So nice. I've moved away before. Have you ever lived away?
Never.
Hmm.
Where did you go?
I lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico
What?
for like 6 months while I was in college.
Okay.
Long story. We're not going to get into it, but out west. And then right after college, I lived in Boulder, Colorado for like 6 months. You see how they both stuck really well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Home.
Because yes, I missed the indigenous people and the culture and the like. Louisiana is sort of one of a kind.
We're very diverse.
But you have like all of this really ingrained, longstanding tradition, and it's very family vibey. And like people see you in the grocery and smile at you, and you hug all your friends all the time. When I was in Colorado, I was young. I made friends. I had a job. No one hugged me the entire time I was there. I'm like, I have got to get out of here.
Oh my god!
I'm sure people in Colorado hug. I'm not saying no one in Colorado hugs, but I'm like, it's just different. It's just different. Your home, you know what's special about your home. And the more you're able to talk about it, the more that you don't have to sell. I don't have to sell it.
Yeah.
Like I love it because of these reasons.
So you saying that, my friend who is a realtor in another marketplace in Lafayette,
Okay.
Kimberly Liffler.
Okay. Oh, hi, Kim.
Yeah, she just shared a piece of land that she has for sale that she sold.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just a picture of land.
Yeah.
But her caption,
Okay.
I have to read it to
Please
y'all.
do.
How many times? Another piece of land sold. That would be my caption.
Right. That would be all right, land.
This picture represents so much about real estate in Louisiana.
Oh my God, yes.
It's in a rural town. It has mature live oak trees on adjacent properties and sits next to a beautifully grown, ready to harvest, plentiful sugarcane crop.
Nice.
It's a piece of family land, so everyone around there likely grew up there with decades of memories like walking to grandma's house, shucking corn on the patio of Aunt Dot's house, or playing with cousins until sunset. The house at the front of the land was to be torn down by the sellers before closing, but the timing didn't work out, so my buyer agreed to do it. South Louisiana is full of families and stories that extend generations. If there is a survey on records, it's sometimes from the days of Arpents, and like one of my clients said, it looks like it was drawn by a pirate. This particular piece did not have a survey, but tracking it down was very interesting and looking at the courthouse over the years of how property has evolved. Anyway, she goes on and on about just the history of the land.
Right.
And it's generations of families have owned it.
This gives me so many Yellowstone and 1883 vibes.
Yes. We're going down that rabbit hole.
The land
is family owned. Protect the land.
But if if we want to bring it back to where we were at, if you know about your local area, like if you have that love of the land and the place that will just like permeate from your message and your vibe, like it just, who isn't drawn to that?
I know.
Like, I mean, all the people are literally moving to Montana.
That is the truth, actually.
Now I'm on 1883, so we're not necessarily moving. We're not in Montana yet. We're just rolling down the Oregon Trail,
Yeah.
Oh, I just love it. But it's so special. There's just something really special about where you are and knowing people there and having a sense of community. And I just thought we should celebrate that.
Yes, I actually have our toast for today.
You do?
I do. Can I do that?
Please. Great. She's like, I'm overtaking the toast.
I'm overtaking the toast today.
Great.
So Jennifer Richardson is an agent in my office.
Yep.
And she just got tired of seeing litter around our city.
Oh, right.
Just tired of it.
Tired.
And then, people complain on Facebook and they whine and they're like, our city needs to do something. She was like, I'm just going to start picking up litter. So she started around like kind of areas where she lived or around her office, like on Essen, you would see her picking up litter. Well, then like more people stopped and were helping her pick up litter. And now she has this entire litter revolution.
I love this.
She got invited to speak at the mayor's lunch.
Nice.
About the litter problem. And now there is a whole Facebook group. If anybody wants to go follow it, it's called Keep Tigertown Beautiful.
Love it.
And they post before and after pictures. It has almost 2,000 members in it now.
Wow.
And the photos are crazy, the before and after photos that she does. And she'll do like pop-ups. Like she's like, hey guys, we're popping up today and we're meeting at this parking lot and come pick up litter with us. But now like other organizations are donating trash bags or volunteering.
Oh, I love it.
So now like
it's
companies,
like a movement.
Yes, it's a movement. It's a litter
movement.
Because she loves her city so much.
She's taking, it's just like pride of ownership in your home.
Yes.
Have a pride of ownership in your place.
Yes. And so then the LSU Lake, there's this small canal between two roads that gets backed up with litter. It funnels into this tiny drain and it just backs up with litter. So I was walking the LSU Lakes and there was this beautiful egret sitting on the trash and it just broke my heart. But that's not something that like your average person, she can't climb down into that ditch.
Right.
It is like it would be very dangerous. So if it was something she couldn't tackle, she reached out to the authorities until it was addressed.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm just going to be the squeaky wheel because I can't do this.
Someone has to be the squeaky wheel.
But she just got the award for our board for the humanitarian award.
I'm so
and
glad.
It's just like it all started because she just got tired of the city that she loves having litter.
Right.
And now there's this whole movement. And oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you this. Lamar, let me see if I can find billboards just for free have donated. It's not loading, but like dozens of billboards.
Great.
That say, keep Tigertown beautiful, follow along.
Oh.
This is where like,
this is giving me chills.
Yes, like
it makes me so happy.
Like what started off as kind of like a strange thing that we were like,
no.
she's gone off the deep end with litter, but now she's made a real change.
She's a litter crusader.
Now,
oh God, what?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the page. They dedicated one of the Mardi Gras floats to it.
Stop.
Capitol Lakes Cleanup Cruise Rock, CLCCR. Crew.
Oh my God.
But anyway, not only did she solve a problem, but she has had fun with it. She's getting all this recognition on a political level and just around the community. One more thing and then I'm done.
This toast is the story
I'm
for
sorry,
the record.
y'all. I'm sorry. We have to toast Jennifer. So the local McDonald's she was picking up trash and she met the manager.
Okay.
He signed a commitment for her that he will maintain the road front in front of him that is not his and around his McDonald's for Keep Tigertown Beautiful. So now she's getting businesses to sign on and make commitments that anything around their storefront will be clean.
Now,
even though it's not
have
theirs.
To get it as a
city ordinance.
Well, no, because there is one.
I know.
There are litter ordinances, but I'll tell you where it has to be like a education initiative in schools.
Yeah,
because kids when they're little and they're taught, like mine would be like, oh, there's litter. We would go with a trash bag in our neighborhood. There weren't that many, but like pieces of litter. But there's some vacant lots here, so it just like from build construction and stuff, things would end up there. And we would go with our bag, and they had little grabbers, and they would grab the trash. But my point is, it obviously isn't a major focus in school because this is an ingrained thing. Either you're the type of person that puts trash in a trash can or you're the type of person that throws it out of a car window.
Right.
I'll tell you a little side note. Although I didn't get hugged, while I was in Colorado, there was not a single piece of trash anywhere. This is a non-issue. It was like no trash, no cigarette, no nothing on the ground, nothing.
Wow.
Pristine. And there are lots of communities like that, but y'all are hearing it from our side. Our community is not so much like that.
No.
People throw trash out of the window. It's
All
very
the time.
embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
But Jennifer is making a difference.
She is.
So I love that.
She just got tired of talking about it.
She made something happen.
Mm-hmm. Cheers, Jennifer. Thank you.
Cheers, Jennifer.
Keep
Seriously.
Tigertown beautiful. Go follow along and
I'm
look at these
send her a
before and
thank you
after
note.
pictures. You should.
I
she
should
would
join
cry.
her crusade. Wait, while we're on trash, really quick, and then we can go.
Okay.
When I was a kid in my Girl Scout troop, we used to go to the troop leader's neighborhood,
Okay.
Terra Boulevard, and pick up trash all down the boulevard, like one Saturday a month as one of our service
Aw,
projects.
that's cool.
Maybe I have a soft spot for litter too.
Yeah. I did. So I didn't have a ton of rules growing up. Like my parents are just.
I
very,
like that you're like, whatever.
Yeah, they're just like, we trust you, and as long as you're communicating with us and we know where you are, like. But we did not litter.
That was the rule.
That was the rule.
Do whatever you want,
Yeah,
just don't
do
litter.
Not litter.
That's a great.
Isn't that funny?
I had no idea where this show was going to go, quite
I don't
honestly.
know. Yeah,
But
but anyway.
Cheers to Jennifer.
Thanks, Jennifer, for
Thank
making
you
such a difference
so
in your
much.
community.
Yes. I love it. Okay, y'all
Bye,
go
guys.
be local.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast. Let us know who we should toast to for the next episode.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hustle Humbly Podcast. If you have an episode, topic, or question, please email us at hustlehumblypodcast@gmail.com.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. See you next week.
Bye.
This is the good life.